Welcome to the webinar, The Power of Coffee, where we'll be exploring strategies for attracting, engaging, and retaining residents with your coffee amenity. The session is being recorded and we'll be sharing a recording with all of our attendees after the event. I'm Becky McLaughlin, Vice President of Marketing for WithMe. I'm pulling up a slide here with some information about our company. We're home of Print With Me and Sip With Me. Our amenities serve over 3 million people nationwide and empower property management teams to elevate their resident experiences, streamline operations, and manage costs effectively. We are thrilled to be hosting today's webinar. Today's discussion will be led by a panel of coffee experts. I'm not one of them, but you have the coffee experts with us here today, including Jim Carbone, Vice President of Coffee Experience at WithMe, and Djerai, CEO of Metropolis Coffee, and Sam Lyden, Director of Sales at Metropolis. So thank you, panel, for being here. We're going to be kicking things off with a discussion about all things coffee, from its history to sourcing and roasting. And from there, we're going to transition to a talk about how multifamily leaders can leverage coffee amenities to attract, engage, and retain residents in their communities. If you stick around to the end, we're going to have an exciting Q&A with fun trivia and prizes as well. So make sure that you hang around. We also have a grand prize drawing that we'll do after this presentation. And that being said, I am delighted to hand things over to our friends Metropolis to kick off the discussion. Sam, Ann?
Thank you, Becky. Yeah, we're very happy to be here. For the thousands of you in attendance, we are Metropolis Coffee, the kind of brand behind Sip With Me's coffee solution, and we're very, very proud of this partnership and to be able to bring specialty coffee to the amenities space, because it's you don't see it as often as we would like, or I think most people would like. But I'll kind of get into what specialty coffee is and why it's so important and what's interesting about it. So coffee itself, we can go to the next slide. What do we mean when we say specialty coffee, right? So we have this SCA definition. The SCA is the Specialty Coffee Association. Really, the coin specialty coffee was termed it was brought up in the 70s. It was basically a way of saying that the folks who were sourcing the coffee were having conversations with farmers on a scale. And now this has been called the SCA scale. So it's a way to be able to deduce and to, clarify what people mean by a certain point, right? So you don't know how to measure anything without a yardstick. So the point scale for SCA is the yardstick. So a specialty coffee would be a coffee that scores at least 80 points or better. You're looking for excellent quality with all of these kind of adjectives associated with it. And then you're also looking for a coffee that is ethically sourced. We can go to the next slide. So like I said, it's arguably an American invention, the idea of specialty coffee. And we see this through a lot of different ways. So a little history about coffee before we get to the waves of coffee. Coffee as a commodity and as an extremely special commodity was, not traded until really the New World. And you see that a lot with the Dutch and with the Ottomans. Coffee itself comes from probably Eastern Africa, probably somewhere around Ethiopia, if you wanted to trace the genus all the way back. And then, so you were really seeing it in kind of certain enclaves of Eastern Africa, but it wasn't like the world's beverage the way it is now. That was tea. And that's mostly because of the empires of the time. So your Dutch, your Spanish, your Portuguese, your British, they would have all traded in tea, and that would have been the kind of special commodity. And they would make tea all over the world, but they're sourcing their tea from their colonization of different empires. So India, China, the Middle East, kind of all of the East, quote unquote. But when coffee starts to come into shape is right around the Industrial Revolution. And it becomes so popular because folks, this Victorian era idea of getting up early with the sun and working really hard and, you know, implementing all of your utility throughout the day to get as much work as you can done to make the most money as possible can only really be fueled by something that gives you almost special powers the way that coffee does. So coffee becomes really the world's most widely used drug. The caffeine in it is going to propel and push people to continue to work from sunup to sundown and really, you know, bring on this industrial revolution that we're on the precipice of in the late 1800s. There's a great book that I read that gives a really great narrative about this whole idea. It's called Coffee Land. It's by an author named Augustine Sedgwick. If you are really nerdy about coffee and you want to really learn its history through the experience of James Hill, who created Hill's Brothers, and then give a really in-depth, almost kind of like a history as if you were reading something about antiquity rather than just like a textbook. It's a great book. And also I always reference the recent show Omnivore on Apple TV. They have a great episode on coffee as well. But let's go into what each wave is and kind of what I mean by that. So we can go to the next slide. So the first wave of coffee is, again, it's that kind of late 1800s, early 1900s idea of we need to fuel this industrial revolution. How do we do that, right? We take plants and we take kind of grafted roots and stems from Africa. We bring them to the New World, places that have been colonized where we can use slave labor and graft on all of these coffee plants in places like Brazil and Colombia and El Salvador and Guatemala, a little bit of Mexico, but mostly that Central and South America kind of area, and you know, really push this very cheaply made commodity of a high quality that the world isn't super familiar with yet, but what they will quickly become addicted to. So this era of first wave coffee, as you can see from these coffee cans, like it's like your grandparents' coffee can, your Maxwell House, your Chase and Sanborn, your Hills Brothers, you know, this is coffee that is raised from the ground, roasted, ground, and put into a can and sent to the New World, what they would have called Coffee Land at the time, which is mostly the United States of America. And so they're sending you an already pre-ground thing. You can scoop it out with a spoon, pour a little hot water over it, and you have your coffee for the day. It's cheap, it's ubiquitous, and again, it's fueling everybody's absolutely oppressive workday. We can move on to the second slide. So that happens, and the world is revolutionized by coffee. That's where you get, you know, hundreds of millions to billions of people consuming coffee every single day. It becomes a ritual, it becomes a lifestyle. And then during the second wave, it also becomes a culture. And that culture, and the way that we see it, was really revolutionized by Starbucks and Peet's Coffee. So what makes it the second wave from the first is the folks at Starbucks and Peet's, they wanted to refine coffee and make it a more luxurious experience. It's not just a hot cup of brown water to kind of get you through the day. They want you to think about it and to experience the flavors and have you know, ideas about what differentiates coffee. They're also introducing the kind of European idea behind coffee, which is that you go somewhere to get coffee just for the purpose of getting coffee. You get an espresso-based beverage, not a drip coffee, and it uses all this different kind of terminology and language that, you know, people outside of Italy or even a little bit of the UK wouldn't have been very familiar with. But why it's such a revolution is because that coffee is much higher quality. It's being kept as a whole bean coffee rather than ground, so you're already preserving a layer of freshness and a higher quality in the actual cup of coffee itself. And then also you're making it at the time, so you're using an espresso grinder and then extracting an espresso right there, or grinding the coffee and making drip coffee right then. So you're getting these aromatic and floral qualities that you would have never perceived in coffee before. And that's really important because you're just making people excited again about drinking coffee. So that's why it's revelatory. It's bringing something that everyone was familiar with, but probably a lot of people didn't even really like, and it makes it fun and exciting again. And we can go to the next slide. The third wave is basically just a refinement of those ideas, and that's where Metropolis comes into play, and our friends at Intelligentsia, as you can see from the slide. So what companies like Metropolis did is we took these really good ideas about the second wave, and we continued to push them all the way kind of to their logical end. So we're not just worried about where the coffee comes from. We're also very worried about making sure we're ethically sourcing the coffee, making sure that the farmer's relationship with that coffee is more pronounced so that they're getting more of the money from that product. And also, we're just looking for even more beautiful coffees that we can see the full expression of. So in our practices of extracting that coffee, whether it's through an espresso machine, a drip coffee machine, one of the confection brewers that you all would use at WithMe, we're using something that is grinding the coffee at the time that it's being made, adding a certain temperature, and making a really standardized, delicious cup of coffee that you're going to be able to return to every single time. Because people pick their coffee place on really two things. Do I like the coffee? And are they going to know my name, right? So you're looking at the quality of the product itself and the hospitality therein. And I think that principle really is what the third wave of coffee supports itself on. It's making sure that, all along the coffee chain, everybody who touches the coffee gets some kind of benefit from it. And that benefit is not just the intrinsic quality of the coffee bean and it tasting good, but the people who touch the coffee should benefit from it. And we can go to the next slide. So that's kind of like a very brief introduction to the history of coffee. And again, like I said, Coffee Land's a great book. If you want to read up about it more, it's very interesting, weird past. And there's a bunch of cool television stuff on it. Or just go to a cafe and talk to a barista. I'm sure they would like to chat with you about it. But now I'll bring Anne in to talk about Metropolis and our history and kind of what we brought to specialty coffee and bridging the gap to Sip With Me.
Thank you, Sam. I appreciate that. I always learn a little something from you every time I hear you talk about the origins of coffee. So thank you. Can you hear me? Are we all good? Okay. So Metropolis Coffee Company, great coffee for everyone is our trademark and our slogan, but it's a lot more than that to the folks over here. What it really means for us is that, our coffee has to benefit every hand that touches it, whether that's the farmer, the trader, our employees, our customers, anybody that's buying it off the grocery shelf. It has to have a positive impact. So where, might just sound like a regular slogan, we put our money where our mouth is. We live that every single day. It's embedded in our culture and our core values. So if we want to go to the next slide. So these are our wonderful owners, Tony and Jeff. They're a father and son duo. We've been in business 21 years this January. Actually, this December, it'll be 21 years, so next month. We were founded in 2003 in our flagship, which we still have up in the Edgewater neighborhood in Chicago. We used to roast in the back of that cafe. And they actually started, out of nowhere. Jeff is a linguist. He speaks Indonesian languages. He also speaks, some Arabic, several European languages as well. I think we're up to 9. He's learning Polish right now as well. So he's, he had a language school before this. He wasn't a coffee guy. And actually, Tony has a degree in philosophy from the University of Wisconsin, and he was a cab driver. And they were, Tony was living in Chicago, but Jeff was living in Seattle. And they actually attended a coffee show and ended up buying a coffee roaster and decided on Chicago being the area that they were going to open their shop in. And they just, started roasting. Tony actually ended up, he trained at Pete's and worked at Pete's for a couple years. And Jeff also learned how to roast at a roastery called Cafe Vita, which is still in business. So they got a lot of good industry chops right off the bat. There wasn't a lot of specialty coffee in Chicago when they opened either. There was a few, but Intelligentsia opened, I think, in 1999. And so we were a few years after that, but it was Metropolis and Intelligentsia pretty much going to nose and head to head for all the wholesale business in the area. So we actually ended up growing from that location, opening a second location in the Andersonville area, and then we just continued to explode in size. We actually are in the Avondale neighborhood in Chicago now. We have an 18,000 square foot facility, still completely family owned. And we roast about a million pounds a year out of our facility here. We have 3 roasters. They're all retrofitted or antique probots that we've updated, that we roast on every single day. We're going to go to the next slide. So this is a little bit about our footprint. Again, we're mostly a wholesale company, but we are in pretty much every major big box here in Chicago as well. So we do a lot of grocery business. I always tell people that Metropolis has probably trained half the city on how to pull espresso shots and clean their brewers and do all that good stuff here in Chicago. A big part of what we do obviously is roast coffee, but on the other side of that, we also train people how to make it. We sell equipment. We teach people, best practice, because as we know, coffee is not a finished product. When people get it, they can't just open the bag and eat it, right? So we 1 to 10, and we make sure that our customers and even our at-home customers are very well versed and comfortable with brewing our product, because as we mentioned, at the beginning, we're putting so much time and effort into sourcing our coffee and making sure we have the best product and making sure that it's roasted really properly. We don't want to fail our customers at the final step so that they, essentially get this wonderful product and don't know how to make it very well. So that final mile is very important to us. We are all over the world, mostly, of course, though, in the United States. We do some business in Canada as well. We have, we do a lot of hospitality as well. So you might see our little Nespresso original capsules. We're the only ones that pack them, but we do sell these all over. It's a compostable capsule compatible with the Nespresso original line. So this is kind of one of our new innovations. And that kind of leads me to my next point, which is Metropolis is really structured around innovation and bringing new technology to coffee. That's why we were so excited to be part of the WithMe experience, because we felt that it was innovative in its approach, and just having somebody like Jim on the team too that really knows the industry, it was really well in line with our innovation values. So next slide. So we developed a new co-packing division this year because we wanted to bring that idea of innovation and specialty coffee to the entire world if we can. We partner with a lot of who were once our competitors, companies like Intelligentsia, for example, for the Nespresso capsule. When we say Metropolis means community, we really mean it. Our cafe up in Edgewater actually is a community center. We will do anything from political events to charity events. Our baristas and the people that run the cafe, Joey, our manager, they are active members in the community there. It's one of the things that we're really proud of, and I think Sam would agree, it's not really replicable either. It's its own thing, and it's what we're known for. And I believe that is felt through our brand at large. People, when they come to our roastery or when they buy a bag of our coffee, they feel like they know us. And I think that says a lot about who we are and who our owners are and how we've kind of propelled the brand into the Chicago area and into the specialty coffee scene in general. So I'm going to go to the next slide. So this was a great quote that we got from our director of procurement, Corey. And it speaks a lot to what Sam was talking about specialty coffee in general, but our relationships with our farmers are really important to us. And, it's not easy to be a partner with Metropolis in the green coffee space because of how we vet our partnerships. We do work with brokers, but we also have a very strong direct relationship with the farm in Brazil that we've been working with since day one, 21 years. That we make sure that all of our partners are heavily vetted. Of course, our coffee has to score above an 80. It's just kind of what we do. But Metropolis is also the largest, most prolific fair trade and organic roaster in the state of Illinois. We really stand behind fair trade. It's something that's near and dear to us, and it keeps with our mission and making sure that great coffee is real. Our coffee is great for everyone that's hands touch it. Fair trade meaning that as much as we can. This is a certification where that farmers and the people that work on the farms are getting a fair wage on their coffee, and that there's transparency into that wage to make sure that slave labor or subsistence level farming isn't something that we engage in. Unfortunately, a lot of the market, this is something that's very common, where people are not getting a living wage, and it's very arduous work. Unlike commodity coffee, specialty coffee actually has to be handpicked. It's not like shucked, or it's not shaken off of a tree like what you might get when you buy like McDonald's coffee or Dunkin' Donuts coffee. So it is a very arduous and labor intensive and very delicate process. So making sure that people are getting a good wage, and that it's the product is really top tier is what we pride ourselves on, and we make sure that we're engaging with when we vet our partners. The next one. So this just expands on us a little bit more. I will say that one of the things that we're very well known for is our blends. Our owner, Tony, has spoken at length about blending coffee and why blends are so important. You don't often see them in specialty coffee because of they have this, there's this idea that coffees need to be a single origin, or, you don't want to take more away from the coffee by blending, but Metropolis, we are excellent blenders. So we tend to profile match, all different types of blends for people, so that we can really meet the customer where they're at. Our coffees are also known for being highly consistent, and a big part of that is being masterful blenders. We, even if maybe our crop runs out at a certain part of the year, we're able to substitute that in with really good procurement and blending practices as well. So next slide. All right, well, that's all I've got. I really appreciate your time today. If you have any questions, I know you'll know where to find us. So Jim, I'm going to let you take it from here.
All right, thanks, Ann. Now let's get into how coffee amenities can help bring in residents, keep them engaged, and make them want to stay. Coffee isn't just something people drink. It's an essential part of their day, a way to connect, and even a little moment of comfort in multifamily spaces. It can do so much more than just fill a cup. It can bring people together, and in turn common areas into spots where real connections happen. Today we'll talk about how coffee can make a big impact on the resident experience and create a community that feels like home. Drive Research's 2024 Coffee Consumer Report proves coffee is an essential part of everyday life for most Americans. Nearly 3 in 4 people drink coffee every day. About 1 out of 3 people drink 3 to 5 cups of coffee a day. 2 out of 3 make coffee at home every day. 87% of Americans consider them somewhat or full-on coffee obsessed. WithMe's own research proves that coffee is a highly valued amenity in multifamily communities. Its presence consistently draws attention and adds appeal to modern living spaces. 82% of residents label Sip With Me an essential amenity. 49% rank their coffee machine as the most used technology-enabled amenity, more so than package lockers and entertainment. 25% view their coffee device as the most valuable amenity in their community, second only to the fitness center. Now, we've talked about why coffee holds such significance for Americans and its unique importance in multifamily living. Now let's dive into actionable strategies to make coffee a standout feature of your property's appeal and a key driver of resident engagement. A premium coffee amenity isn't just an added convenience, it's a strategic asset that can help you attract and retain residents by enhancing their living experience. Here's how a high quality bean to cup coffee station can give your property a competitive edge. In competitive markets, standing out is crucial. A premium coffee amenity sets your property apart from others, signaling that you offer unique, value-added features that elevate the resident experience beyond the basics. Many properties still use K-cups or a coffee program that doesn't include a freshly ground cup from a craft coffee roaster. Prospective residents are often looking for more than just a place to live. They want a community that enhances their lifestyle. A high-end coffee amenity immediately communicates a sense of luxury and attention to detail, making your property more appealing from their first visit. Offering a premium coffee experience shows that you care about providing exceptional amenities, which helps position your property as a modern, upscale community that residents will be proud to call home. A well-placed coffee station becomes a natural gathering spot, encouraging residents to interact and build a sense of community. This social aspect can be a strong draw for prospects looking for more than just a living space, but a connected, vibrant community. By providing a high-quality coffee experience, you're enhancing residents' daily lives, making them more likely to stay long-term. Satisfied residents are also more likely to refer others, further boosting your leasing efforts. Residents can enjoy a great cup of coffee conveniently, but also at a huge cost savings if provided as an amenity, similar to what a gym health club amenity would provide. By offering a high quality coffee amenity, you're not just serving coffee, you're creating an experience that resonates with both current and prospective residents, making your property more attractive and competitive in the marketplace. A strategically executed coffee amenity can do more than just serve beverages. It can enhance your property's charm and appeal to prospective residents. Here are effective strategies to transform your coffee station into a powerful leasing tool. Place a coffee station where prospects can experience it firsthand during tours, showcasing the convenience and lifestyle your property offers. Make the coffee station a featured stop, explaining how it enriches residents' daily lives and fosters community building. Delight prospects with a fresh cup of coffee during their visit, creating a welcoming, memorable experience that sets your property apart. Ensure the area around the coffee station is well lit and comfortable, demonstrating your property's focus on convenience and relaxation. Promote the coffee amenity in brochures, online listings, and social media to attract prospects who value lifestyle-enhancing amenities. Offering a premium coffee experience can not only attract new residents, but also keep them engaged long after they move in, making it a valuable asset for your property's success. Using coffee as an engagement tool not only improves resident satisfaction, but also fosters a sense of belonging. When thoughtfully integrated, coffee amenities can create shared experiences that enhance the overall resident experience and strengthen community ties in multifamily properties. Here's how to maximize your coffee amenities potential as a catalyst for resident engagement and community building. First, creating an inviting space with comfortable seating and nearby gathering areas encourages residents to relax, socialize, and incorporate the coffee amenity into their daily routine. Hosting coffee-themed events and workshops such as latte art sessions or coffee tasting adds variety and creates memorable social experiences that draw residents together. Additionally, regular meet and greet events around the coffee station foster connection by providing casual opportunities for interaction with on-site team members, enhancing the sense of community. Celebrating coffee holidays like National Coffee Day adds an element of fun and gives residents something to look forward to. Special brews or themed promotions on these occasions can further encourage engagement. Implementing a coffee passport program invites residents to try different brews and flavors with stamps or rewards that add a touch of adventure to their experience. This small incentive helps build excitement and keeps residents engaged with the amenity. Offering coffee education classes also adds value by giving residents opportunities to learn about brewing techniques, tasting profiles, and coffee origins. These classes enhance the coffee experience and build appreciation for the amenity. Lastly, branded mugs or cups encourage social sharing, allowing residents to showcase their community online. This simple approach enhances visibility and community pride while fostering a connection with the coffee amenity. This also promotes bring your own mug, which in the long run is a cost savings for the property as well as environmentally conscious. Together, these strategies transform the coffee amenity into an engaging, community-centered space that residents enjoy and connect with regularly. We've just explored how something as simple as the coffee amenity can spark daily connections and elevate the resident experience. Now let's take that idea a step further because creating a sense of community doesn't stop at coffee. Resident events take engagement to the next level. They're not just about bringing people together for fun. They're a strategic tool that transforms how residents feel about your property and ultimately their decision to stay. Our partners at Flamingo Resident Retention Platform are hard at work finalizing their 2024 State of Resident Events report. Early insights from this study, based on data collected from hundreds of communities across the U.S., reveal one undeniable truth. Resident events make a measurable impact. Let's explore the numbers and see exactly how they drive results. First, let's talk about how events impact your community's online presence. According to the report, 55% of property managers said that hosting events led to new online reviews within just 3 days. Just think about that. On an event on Friday could result in positive reviews by Monday. It's a win-win. Residents have a great experience to share, and your property gains visibility and credibility online. Reviews are often the first impression potential residents get of your community, and events are a direct way to generate them. Now let's look at the flip side. What happens when events are absent? The report found that 100% of cases where residents mentioned a lack of events, they were unlikely to renew their lease. Let me repeat that. In every single case where residents felt there was a lack of community engagement, their likelihood of renewal dropped to a no or probably not. It's a staggering statistic. Without events, you're not just missing out on satisfaction, you're actually losing residents. It highlights just how essential it is to create opportunities for connection and engagement. Now let's talk about happiness, something we all strive for in our communities. The presence of events has a direct correlation to resident satisfaction. According to the report, 89% of residents who noted the presence of events rated their happiness level as either happy or very happy. This shows us that events aren't just activities, they're a key driver of overall community well-being. People want more than a place to live. They want a community to belong to. And here's the bottom line. Events lead to renewals. When residents mentioned the presence of events, 82% said they were likely or very likely to renew their lease. That's a significant impact. Events create lasting memories and meaningful relationships that make people want to stay. It's clear that fostering community engagement isn't just good for residents, it's good for business. Now, hosting resident events isn't just about a social calendar, it's a critical strategy for boosting happiness, strengthening retention, and building your community's reputation, both in person and online. One of the simplest and most effective ways to leverage your coffee amenity is by hosting a tasting event. This interactive gathering invites residents to experiment with a variety of mix-ins and toppings, allowing them to craft their perfect beverage. It's an engaging way to spark conversations and create lasting connections with your community while showcasing the quality of your coffee amenity. You can scan the QR code on the screen to download our free ebook that includes a helpful playbook for coffee events, or you can just drop it in the chat and we'll share that with you. Now we're excited to share our tried and true strategies for planning coffee events that are not only seamless, but also highly impactful. With careful timing and thoughtful preparation, you can turn a simple coffee gathering into an unforgettable experience for your residents. Now let's start with the basics, setting the stage for a successful coffee event. When hosting at a multifamily property, timing is key. For family-friendly events, we recommend a Saturday time slot from either 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. or noon to 2. This captures the late morning crowd and is perfect for parents and kids alike. Now, if you're planning a more relaxed adults-only gathering, consider an over 21 happy hour from 6 to 8 p.m. on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday evening, a great midweek treat for residents. As you prepare, it's critical to stay on top of supplies. Double check your inventory ahead of time and place additional orders if necessary to avoid last-minute hiccups. Remember, having enough coffee, cups, napkins, and any add-ons like syrup or milk alternatives ensure your event will run smoothly. Now let's talk about delivering a memorable coffee event experience. Execution is where the magic happens. A key way to elevate the event is by offering a variety of mix-ins and toppings that let residents customize their drinks and make the experience truly special. Here are a few crowd pleasers: flavored syrups, marshmallows, sweetened condensed milk, flavored creamers, chocolate chips, caramel and chocolate sauces, ice cream, whipped cream. Now, for adult focus events, consider adding a selection of liqueurs to the mix for a more sophisticated coffee bar. Something like Bailey's Irish Cream, Kahlua, Godiva Chocolate Liqueur, Sugarland Sippin' Cream, or a rum chata. To make the experience even more indulgent, complement your coffee and cocoa with sweet treats like candies or cookies. These pair perfectly with beverages and add an extra element of fun to the event. And don't forget to include allergen-friendly options. Be mindful of dietary restrictions by offering items like dairy-free creamers, gluten-free cookies, or nut-free toppings, ensuring everyone can enjoy the experience. By offering a variety of mix-ins, toppings, sweet treats, and inclusive options, your event will feel personalized, thoughtful, and above all, memorable for all attendees. Let's talk about making your coffee events fun and engaging for everyone. Start by adding some themed decorations to really elevate the space. Something simple but eye-catching that makes the event feel special. Then set up a photo op like a cool backdrop or a selfie station. People love snapping photos, and this gives them a reason to share the experience. Speaking of sharing, Encourage residents to use a property or event-specific hashtag when they post on social media. It's a great way to spread the word and show off your community. While you're at it, grab some photos or videos yourself. These are perfect for your own social media pages and can really highlight the vibe of your events. And don't forget to add a little excitement with a giveaway. Enter everyone who attends into a drawing. It's a fun way to keep people engaged and make the event even more memorable. These little touches go a long way in creating an experience that residents will talk about and come back for. Now that we've discussed how to execute a great coffee event, let's shift gears and talk about how coffee amenities can go beyond events and play a strategic role in resident retention. Residents don't just choose a multifamily property based on square footage or location. They stay where they feel valued and at home. Coffee amenities are a simple but powerful way to create that sense of connection. Think about it, a well-stocked coffee bar or machine in a common area becomes more than just a place to grab a cup of coffee. It's a hub for social interaction, a daily convenience, and a little moment of luxury that residents can enjoy. To effectively retain residents with your coffee amenity, it's essential to focus on quality and convenience. Start by investing in fresh, high-quality coffee beans. Residents appreciate a premium product, which can significantly enhance their overall satisfaction. Next, consider a variety of beverage options. Not everyone is a coffee drinker, so including alternatives like hot chocolate or teas ensures that all residents feel catered to. Consistency is key. Therefore, it's crucial to ensure the quality of your coffee remains high every day. Investing in reliable equipment is a vital step. Quality machines not only deliver great coffee, but also reduce downtime and maintenance issues, ensuring residents have a seamless experience. Providing 24/7 access to coffee is a game changer. Many residents have varying schedule, so being able to grab a cup of coffee at any hour adds to their convenience and satisfaction. Implementing a robust maintenance schedule will keep your equipment running smoothly. Regular checkups and cleaning can prevent issues before they affect your service. If you're supplying cups and other coffee essentials, consider eco-friendly options or even bring your own mug policy. This approach aligns with the values of environmentally conscious residents, demonstrating your commitment to sustainability and enhancing their perception of your community. Leverage technology for ordering coffee. Utilizing mobile apps or on-screen ordering can streamline the process and make it more convenient for residents, especially during busy hours. Finally, actively gathering and implementing feedback on your coffee amenity is crucial. Create opportunities for residents to share their thoughts and be sure to act on that feedback. This demonstrates that you value their input and are committed to making improvements, ultimately fostering a stronger sense of community. By focusing on these strategies, you can create a coffee amenity that not only meets the needs of your residents, but also enhances their overall experience and encourages long-term retention. Now that we've explored the impact of coffee amenities on attracting residents, fostering community, and improving retention, let's talk about how to make implementing and managing them easy and seamless for your property. We may be a little biased, but we truly believe Sip With Me is the perfect solution for multifamily properties. It's thoughtfully designed to meet the needs of both residents and property managers, delivering quality, convenience, and cost savings in one seamless package. We start with a carefully selected network of craft roasters who prioritize quality and ethical sourcing, ensuring that every cup meets the highest standards. Freshness is central to our service. All beans are roasted only after an order is placed and shipped immediately, so residents can enjoy coffee at its peak flavor. Recognizing that not everyone drinks coffee, Sip With Me offers a wide variety of beverage options, including hot chocolate, to cater to all preferences. The quality of our ingredients is another defining feature. From real milk powder to premium flavor powders, every detail is carefully chosen to deliver an exceptional beverage experience. Sip With Me is also a cost-conscious solution. It provides barista quality drinks at a fraction of the price of coffee shops, offering significant savings for both your residents and your property. Our system makes it easy to maintain control by allowing you to manage resin consumption without compromising on the value of the amenity. Finally, with our all-inclusive package options, we help keep costs predictable and reduce operational expenses by up to 60%, making budgeting simple and stress-free. With Sip With Me, you're not just adding an amenity, you're introducing a seamless, high-quality, and cost-effective coffee experience tailored to multifamily living. Nothing illustrates the impact of Sip With Me better than its success at the Standard in Scottsdale. The coffee amenity has become a key differentiator during property tours, impressing prospective residents with its high-quality coffee and cost-saving convenience, setting the property apart from others in the market. Residents love the amenity, and their enthusiastic feedback has led to a surge in 5-star reviews, an essential tool for attracting attention and enhancing the property's reputation. Beyond the coffee, Sip With Me has transformed common areas into gathering spaces where residents connect, fostering a stronger sense of community. These meaningful daily interactions not only enhance satisfaction, but also build loyalty, making residents more likely to renew their leases. If you'd like to see the full details of their experience, just let us know after the webinar, and we'll be happy to send the case study to you directly. Now I'm going to hand things over to Djerai, CEO of Metropolis Coffee Company, to lead us in some fun coffee trivia.
Thanks, Jim. Yeah, I know we're running out of time, so I'll keep this pretty short, and hopefully you guys will know the answers, so they'll move pretty quickly. So I'm going to ask the question. It's also going to be presented on a slide, and whoever gets the answer correct first gets the prize. And this year, we're doing our special Hullabaloo, which is our holiday blend. It only comes out once a year, and once it's gone, it's gone. So if you don't currently shop in the Chicagoland area, this is a rare chance to get this. It's really good. It's half Guatemalan, I want to say, and half Ethiopian. So it's a really good blend this year. So let's move on to the first slide.
Yeah, and we're going to make sure that everybody makes their way over to the chat right now, because that's where you're going to submit your answers. So open up the little chat bubble. I see Sam typing in there. Hopefully everyone makes their way there. Okay, I'm going to move to the next slide.
What animal is famously associated with coffee? Oh, we got Maria Jose Oliveros. You got it right. It is a goat. Yes.
All right, and we're going to make sure that we reach out to all of our winners after the presentation to get your shipping information. So Maria, my team will be in touch with you. I like the other answer though, a koala. All right.
All right, so this is kind of a weird phrasing. So can you use any coffee to make espresso? Like, can you use any coffee, or does it have to be like a specific coffee? Okay. Oh, it's going crazy, the chat. So it's Sharon Mincy that got it right first. The answer is yes, you can use any coffee. The only difference between espresso and any other coffee is pressure. So you can take, Hullabaloo, you can take whatever you would see as like an espresso blend on the shelf, really anything. With the right tools, you make espresso. So congratulations, Sharon.
I'm trying to move slides. My computer's being a little fussy. There we go.
Is there any heat in the whole cold brew process? Okay, I think Maurice Olson got it right. You're right. The answer is no. There isn't any heat in the cold brew process. It's not a traditional or true cold brew if the person making it is applying heat. So you'll see iced coffee a lot of times will come out. It'll be hot coffee poured over ice, or a Japanese cold brew, which is literally brewed over ice. Those aren't true cold brews. So congratulations, Maurice. All right, this is a little bit more complicated, but I will take a few answers on this. I did try to touch on it because I knew it was complicated in my part of the seminar. But what is the difference between specialty coffee and the coffee you might get at McDonald's or Dunkin' or, any of the large commodity roasters? Let's see. Let's see. We have a winner again, Maurice. Are they allowed to win twice?
Sure.
Okay,
I mean,
well,
maybe we
Maurice-
could do a second winner on this one too.
Okay, cool. That's more than fine. Maurice will send you, 2 different coffees. How about that? So yes, Maria, you also got it right. Harlan, you also got it right. So maybe we'll have a few winners here. Metropolis is happy to comply. Yes. So, specialty coffee, as Sam mentioned, is scored on a 100-point scale. It has to be above an 80. The sourcing practices have to be transparent. And moreover, we don't even buy our coffee off of the same market as a McDonald's or a Dunkin' does. We buy our coffee. Of course, it's informed by the Central's market, but we pay a differential. And it's not considered a commodity in specialty. I think I have one more. This is a good one. Don't Google it. That's cheating. What is the second largest coffee producing nation? Let's see. People are Googling it. I can't see the bottom of the chat. Oh, here we go. Yes, we've got a winner. Alana or Elena. It is Vietnam. Brazil is #1 and Vietnam is #2. Believe it or not, and it crept up really quickly in the last decade. So well done. We have a winner. And I think that's our last trivia.
It is. So
Nice. Good job.
And thanks for facilitating that, and also for providing your wonderful blends of coffee to the winners. So winners will be in touch with you on the WithMe side of the house to make sure that we get you your prizes of coffee, and we're going to throw in some WithMe branded tumblers for you too. And that brings us to the last couple minutes of the presentation here for any Q&A. Any questions from the audience? I didn't see any come through yet, but I'm keeping an eye right now on the chat. If you have any questions for this panel of experts, here's a question I can answer. Where can we find this recording? This recording is going to be shared with all attendees through your email. So whichever email you signed up for with your registration, you'll be getting an email from the WithMe team with a link to the recording. So it's coming your way within the next 24 hours or so. And then we have a question for Sam. Sam, can you repeat the Prime Video episode you recommended, please? Apple TV episode.
Yeah, so the show is called Omnivore. It's written by a very famous food writer, who I can't remember his name, but he partners with Rene Redzepi, who owns and operates the very famous Noma restaurant in Copenhagen, and who also narrates the program. So yeah, it's called Omnivore, and it's, I believe, in 8 episodes, and it's basically all of the essential foods of the human race. So one of those being coffee, another is rice, another is pig, another is tuna, another is corn, and it really dives deep not only into the kind of mechanical nature of these products, but also their extreme cultural significance, which is really interesting, especially if if you really buy into the idea of coffee as community, it gets behind that as well.
Cool. There's a question that had come through. Do you think we'll ever see a fourth wave in coffee culture, and what would that look like?
Yeah, I think we might already be in it and not know it. Kind of like you're not quite sure what you're observing at the time. I think that because of cold brew and because of the different ways that automation is starting to interact with coffee, I think we kind of might already be there. And that is more on this, at least in America, it's more on the side of how you get your coffee. So I think Sip With Me's presence in that idea is interesting as well, right? Because you get your coffee at your house, but not really at your house. You're going to like a community part of your building to meet with folks that you have kind of, because you're living in the same place, you have like ideas and like experiences, and you want to share in that community. And otherwise, like even if you go to a Starbucks, the way that they're making that coffee for you is different than the way they made it 40 years ago. If you go to one of our cafes, like if you go to our cafe at the airport at O'Hare in Chicago, you're going to see a much different presentation of that coffee. So it's hard to answer that. No kind of authority on the matter has said we're there yet, but it feel like we're kind of already there, especially in a post-COVID world where people are experiencing coffee in different ways.
And you're an authority on it, Sam, so you can say we're there. And if you say it, we're there.
I will not say it.
Great. So we're in our last couple minutes here, and I did want to make sure that I thought I had an email address on here, but I don't. That all the attendees know how they can reach us. So I'll just put our email address here in the chat right now for you. It's marketing@withme.com. That's going to come to my team. So any questions that you may have that we didn't get to, I can direct to the experts, whether it's to Jim or Sam or Ann, and we'll make sure that we get you all your answers about coffee and coffee amenities. Any final thoughts from the panel before we close today at all?
I would just say to keep reiterating the idea of community. I mean, I think what's so interesting about coffee is that you're really communicating with another culture. Coffee is not made in America, really, if you take Hawaii out of the equation. Coffee is not made in most of the world, to be honest. It's made in very particular sections of very beautiful parts of the world. And really, you're getting, with specialty coffee, you're getting a certain level of communication and love and appreciation for the earth and for the people that the coffee is going to. So I think it's really cool that we can continue to kind of extend that and funnel it through to you guys at WithMe, and then it goes to your customers just the way that we would give it to all of our customers. And that community is really impactful. So everybody who uses our coffee at Sip With Me, we thank you for that. You're supporting something that's really, really great and encouraging. And yeah, thank you.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having us as a part of this too. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, Metropolis, thank you. And coffee's important to everyone. So I mean, it's just a great way to bring people together. And I know myself, I look forward to that first cup of coffee, and I'll bet you most people out there do as well.
True.
Great. Well, thank you, panelists, for joining us. And thank you to everyone who joined us virtually today to learn about coffee, learn about maximizing the use of a coffee amenity. Of course, if you're interested in Sip With Me and Metropolis Coffee being at your community, send us an email at marketing@withme.com, and we'll be happy to get that conversation started with you. Until we meet again, thank you, everyone, and have a great day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you.